I put out yesterday, as many of us did, a comment praying for his family and for the university community. But I was struck when I walked into the Armed Services Committee meeting today that many of my colleagues knew him. I never met him. So for many in this body, and I think many who are here, he was an acquaintance or a friend. I know how devastating it was to Senators Klobuchar and Smith when their friends were killed a couple weeks ago. And so this is something that is not just in the news, but it is something that is personal to people in this place. And it's just too common. It's just too common. You know, we have a colleague in the Senate, Mark Kelly, whose life was ineradicably changed by political violence. We have a colleague in the House, Steve Scalise, whose life was ineradicably changed by political violence. President Trump survived an assassination attempt, and another assassination plot was foiled. There have been 300 instances of political violence in the United States since January 6, 2021. Some known individuals, some officials, some personalities, but also, you know, neighbors who are targeted with political violence by neighbors who don't agree with them. And I bring it up to express my sadness for colleagues who were personally affected because they know Mr. Kirk, but also in a Foreign Relations Committee meeting, one thing that's a little bit sad, and I suspect all of us have this experience, we travel as members of this committee or the Armed Services Committee, and we meet with people overseas, and they just think this is who we are. You know, I don't think this is who we are, but when we meet with people abroad and they sort of think this is who we are, it's sort of hard to mount the evidence and make the counter argument. So I don't have any answers. I've got a real sober sense of sadness today, especially for colleagues of mine who are personally affected by this.